We are at the half between UMBC and Vermont in a battle for first place atop the America East standings. We are knotted 29 apiece at the break between the Retrievers and the Catamounts. Let's run down some of the first half stats in this one. For UMBC, they shot 10 out of 25 from the floor, 40%, just 3 of 12 from three-point range at 25%. They were 6 of 9 at the free throw line for 67%. For Vermont in that first half, just 9 of 24 from the floor for 38%. They were 5 of 13 from three-point range at 38%. And 6 of 13 at the free throw line for 46%. Slight rebound edge for the Catamounts in that first half, 18-16. Vermont turned it over 6 times. UMBC turned it over 5 times. Individual scoring in that first half, Caden Diggs off the bench led the way for UMBC with 10. Jose Roberto Tanchin had 9. 3 points apiece for Jelikai King and DJ Armstrong Jr. 2 points for Josh Odunowu and a point apiece from Ace Valentine and Riley Jacobs. For Vermont in that first half, 8 points apiece from TJ Hurley and Lucas Mari led the way. 4 points out of Ben Michaels, 3 points out of Ben Johnson, and 2 apiece from Gus Yalden, Sean Blake, and Jackson Skipper rounds out the scoring for Vermont in that first half. As it is 29-29 between UMBC and Vermont. As we are a couple minutes away from the start of the second half, let's run down the America East scoreboard for you. We have our first final that came in. New Hampshire, a winner over UMass Lowell tonight, 66-61. Bryant and Binghamton in a tight one. It is 60-59. Bryant leads Binghamton with 1:05 remaining. In that one, Binghamton looks for their first conference win, and they're down 1 with just over a minute left. And NJIT leading Albany 58-55. 5.5 left to go in that one. Top 25 score, number 8, Iowa State at the half, up 52-29 over Colorado. So that's a blowout there for the Cyclones. At halftime, another top 25 team in action coming up here in about an hour. Number 9, Illinois will host Washington there in Champaign. Well, I'll tell you, got another college basketball live stream coming up tomorrow night for you. That will be out of the A10 as the number 21 ranked St. Louis Billikens will be at home taking on the Dayton Flyers. That should be a doozy in the A10 tomorrow. And I will be on for that one tomorrow night on the live stream at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Dayton and number 21 St. Louis out of the A10. St. Louis getting up to number 21 in the top 25 poll this week. Eked one out the other night, getting a late three-pointer to beat George Washington. So that should be a fun one tomorrow night. Dayton and St. Louis out of the A10. Here we're about a minute away from the start of the second half between UMBC and Vermont. 29 apiece between the Retrievers and the Catamounts. Binghamton has just grabbed the lead over Bryant, 61-60, with 11 seconds remaining. Bryant will have the final possession in that game. And JIT's pulled away a little bit over Albany, 63-55. 4.5 left in that one. So if New Jersey and JIT can hold on for that win over Albany, they will move up to a tie for second place with whoever loses this game between UMBC and Vermont. As the winner here will go into sole possession of first place. As Saturday will get to the halfway mark of conference play in the America East. Here we go, 20 minutes on the board. It is UMBC ball to open the second half. This is Armstrong. Kicks it outside to Tanchin. Tanchin drives in. Now Tanchin backs his way in, puts it up with the right hand, misfires. Rebound to Vermont. As UMBC fails on their first attempt of the second half. Blake with it over to Hurley. TJ Hurley. Outside to Yalden for a three. That's off the back rim, so both teams empty on their first possessions here in half number 2. UMBC ball on the outside. This is Valentine. He'll put up a three-pointer. That's off the back rim. No good. Rebound pulled down by Vermont. And Sean Blake crosses the midcourt stripe for the Catamounts. Scoreless first minute here in the second half. Hurley on the outside. Passes off inside and now off to Blake. Blake draws the double team and will back it back out with 10 on the shot clock. Blake now looking to drive. Blake kicks it out. They work it around the arc. Down to 3 to shoot. They're going to have to put up something here. And the shot is good with the shot clock running down from 2-point range. TJ Hurley now in double figures with 10 as he gets that shot to go. And Vermont leads 31-29. Three-pointer is a brick at the other end for UMBC. And back come the Catamounts. Blake coast to coast and lays it in. Sean Blake and one. Sean Blake took it all the way, got the layup to go, and drew a foul. So a good start to the second half for Vermont. And the free throw, no good. Vermont continues to struggle at the free throw line. 33-29 Catamounts. And on the drive, right-hand layup is good for Jelikai King for his first 2 points of the second half. (33-31). A deep three is good at the other end for Vermont. Hurley now with 13. 36-31 Catamounts. 7-2 run to open the second half. UMBC trying to answer with a three. They do not, but it's tipped in off the miss by King. 36-33. Here's Sean Blake up the floor for Vermont. Passes off to Hurley. Hurley's got the hot hand here in the second half so far. And we're going to have a foul underneath on the Retrievers. That's going to be on Tanchin, I think. If it is, it's his third. Catamounts will inbound. Inside, nice pass inside, and the layup is good from Ben Johnson. That's his first field goal. They actually got that last foul on Odunowu, so that's his third. Jelikai King with it, passes off to Armstrong. Armstrong. Back to King, and we're going to have a reach-in foul on the Catamounts. This one's going to go against Ben Johnson. It'll be his first. Down to come. Valentine gets bumped inside, can't get it to go. But he will head to the free throw line. Foul's whistled against Sean Blake, and that will send Ace Valentine to the line for 2. Vermont coach John Becker, again, not too pleased with the officials on that call. First of 2 up and good for Valentine. Valentine, second attempt at the line, and he hits them both. 38-35, Vermont. Nearly 3.5 minutes old here in the second. And UMBC gets a steal. Stepped right in the passing lane there, but stepping out of bounds. So no turnover. It will stay Vermont ball as UMBC couldn't stay in bounds. Catamounts with it. Here's Blake driving. Blake puts it up with the right hand, and we're going to have a foul. I think that's before the shot. I don't think that's going to count. Vermont bench wants it to count, but I don't think it's going to. It's a foul before the shot on UMBC. So it'll just be a inbound under the basket for Vermont. Johnson, nice pass inside, turnaround jumper, will not go. Rebound pulled down by the Retrievers. Retrievers working it around outside the arc. Armstrong off to Valentine. Valentine passes outside. Three-pointer for the tie is good. And this game is tied once again, this time at 38. Ben Johnson. Bounce pass inside to Yalden. Yalden backs his way in, puts it up with the right hand and scores. Yalden backed his way into the paint and got the right hand shot to go. 40-38 Vermont. Yalden just 4 points as he's just 2 of 9 from the floor. But getting free at the other end on a missed layup. And then we have a loose ball foul on UMBC. Boy, Tanchen missed the layup and then a frustration over the back foul. First time out of the second half comes at the 15-10 mark. 40-38 Vermont over UMBC in a good one. Got a final now. Binghamton picks up their first conference win of the year as they knock off Bryant 63-60. NJIT up 65-62 on Albany. 2:33 remaining. UMBC will look to climb into a second place tie. Iowa State continuing to blow out Colorado 62-37 for the Cyclones in the second half. UMBC shooting in this game down to 39%, Vermont at 45%. UMBC 25% from three-point range, 4 of 16. Vermont 6 of 15 from 3 at 40%. Free throw shooting, UMBC 8 of 11, 73%. This has been the bugaboo tonight for Vermont. 74% free throw shooting team on the season, but they're just 6 of 14 at the line tonight. Both teams have been turnover free in the second half so far, as it is a 40-38 lead for the Catamounts. 15-10 remaining. Vermont ball out of the timeout, as the Catamounts will bring it up the floor. Here's Blake on the drive. Blake sends it outside, and now coming up to the foul line and pulling up for the jumper and hitting the jumper is TJ Hurley. He's now got 15, and it's 42-38 Catamounts. Back to UMBC the other way. Here's Valentine. Valentine gets free under the basket, kicks it back out. And now the turnaround inside the paint is up and good. Nice strong shot there by Riley Jacobs. And it's back to a 2-point game at 42-40. Blake on the outside for the Catamounts. Finds Yalden. Vermont's leading scorer, Yalden, held to 4 points tonight. Hurley now with it. Back outside to Blake. 10 to shoot. Blake drives. That's going to be a push-off. Yeah, Blake pushed off. That's going to be an offensive foul. That's going to be his second. More times than not, anytime you throw that arm out like Blake just did, 98% of the time, that's going to be offensive. UMBC looks to tie or retake the lead with a 3 at the 14-minute mark here in the second half. Valentine outside. This 3 in the corner for the lead is off the rim. Rebound pulled down by Yalden. Blake gives it back to Yalden. Yalden sends it outside. And we have a reach-in foul on UMBC. This one's going to go on Valentine. He doesn't think so, but Valentine picks up his third foul. So he is now the third retriever with 3 fouls, and that's already 5 team fouls here in the second half against UMBC. And it'll be an under-the-basket inbound for Hurley and the Catamounts. Hurley gets it into Yalden. Yalden backs his way in, sends it outside to Blake. Blake thought about the 3, now instead will pass it back outside for a 3 at the top of the key that goes for Ben Johnson. 45-40, Vermont up 5. Here's Diggs. Over to King. King drives. King has it blocked. Back come the Catamounts. They look for their largest lead of the night this trip. Another top of the key 3. That's short. Rebound pulled down by UMBC. The roof would have came off Patrick Jim if they would have hit that. At the other end of 3, that's no good. UMBC now just 4 of 18 from behind the arc. Johnson. The other way. Johnson tries another 3. Back rim, no good. Rebound to the Retrievers. Diggs gets inside. Diggs kicks it out for a wide open 3-pointer. That is short by Dickerson. Rebound pulled down by Vermont. It is not there from 3-point range tonight for UMBC. Hurley with it. Hurley steps back and takes a long jumper that goes for 3. Looked like there was some disagreement by the officials. It looks like I would think they're going to look at that here at the timeout, which was just called by UMBC as Vermont has taken an 8-point lead with 12:04 to play. Vermont on a little mini run here, as they now have their largest lead of the night at 8 points. NJIT about to close out a win at Albany. They're up 73-63 as NJIT with 57 seconds to play. So barring a monumental comeback in the last minute for Albany, New Jersey NJIT is going to climb into a second place tie in America East with the loser of this game. Number 8, Iowa State is now up 30 on Colorado in the second half, 69-39. That is a very, very good Iowa State team this year. Vermont leads here 48-40. I think there's a little bit of a disagreement on that last 3 for TJ Hurley, so I'm sure the officials here at the timeout are looking at that to make sure that last shot was a 3-pointer. Mentioned going forward, UMBC after this game will have a game Saturday evening at Albany. That is their next matchup. Vermont on Saturday will stay at Patrick Gym to take on NJIT. That is an important game for in conference play on Saturday. NJIT and Vermont. Game tips off at 4:30 Eastern on Saturday. And that last basket, they were reviewing at the timeout, and it is a 3-pointer for TJ Hurley. So he's got 18 points as he has really started to heat up here in the second half. Retrievers bringing up the floor. There's Caden Diggs on the outside. Off to Dickerson. Dickerson outside to Jacobs. And a step-back 3-pointer. That's no good. 3-point shooting continues to struggle for UMBC. Put back by Dickerson off the offensive glass is no good. And this time the Catamounts have the rebound. Here's Hurley again, but he misses this time from the corner. And the ball is knocked out of bounds by Vermont. It will go to UMBC. 11:32 to play. Catamounts up 8, 48-40 on UMBC as we hit the under 12. UMBC's been outscored 19-11 so far in the second half. As UMBC shooting continues to go the wrong way, they're down to 35% now. Vermont's led now by TJ Hurley's 18 points. He has caught fire so far here in the second half. He is Vermont's second leading scorer this year at 14.5 a game, so he's already surpassed that here at 18 tonight. UMBC's led by 10 points off the bench for Caden Diggs. He's their leading scorer on the night. Albany's attempting a late comeback against NJIT. They've pulled within 5, 73-68, but the bad news is for Albany, there's only 17 seconds left. $11:32 to go in this one. Vermont's taking an 8-point lead. It's the biggest spread for either team tonight. 48-40 is our score. These two teams will meet again 3 weeks from tonight. Retrievers bringing up the floor. Dickerson with it on the outside. Dickerson over to Jacobs. Jacobs finds Armstrong. Armstrong drives inside, can't get it to go, but gets fouled. And Armstrong will head to the line for 2. I think they got Hurley on that foul. 5th team foul. Both teams now with 5 team fouls here in the second half. And 2 free throws for DJ Armstrong Jr. First is up and good. One more for Armstrong. Got them both. He's now got 5. And the lead is cut to 6. 48-42. 11:15 remaining. Here's Blake up the floor for the Catamounts. Off to Hurley. Hurley now with it on the outside. Hurley looking to drive. Cannot. Gets cut off. Now Hurley trying to back his way and kicks it outside. Open 3 at the top of the key is no good. Rebound by UMBC, and back come the Retrievers. Armstrong now with it on the outside. Armstrong looking to drive. Pulls up in the paint. Short. Rebound pulled down by Vermont. Catamounts the other way, and a foul. That's a good foul there because Yalden had an easy layup. So UMBC will make Yalden Erdem from the free throw line. First free throw by Yalden's good. Yalden will have one more. Got it. Lead back to 8. For Vermont, 50-42. Under 10.5 left. Tanchin back in the game with the 3 fouls for UMBC, and we have a foul on Vermont off the ball. This will be the 6th team foul, so for each foul here on out, UMBC will be at the line for the rest of the game. Noah Barnett just got his 4th foul. So UMBC will inbound. And in it comes. Odunowu with it. Now on the outside is Diggs. Back to Valentine. Tangent with it now. Bounce pass inside to Odunowu. Odunowu kicks it out. Armstrong puts up a three-pointer. That was blocked by Vermont, and back come the Catamounts the other way. Blake on the outside goes inside to Yalden. Yalden looking to back his way into the paint, and he slips and is called for steps. The Vermont bench, the Vermont crowd all thought there was a foul there, but they got Yalden for a travel, and it's Vermont's 8th turnover. It's a final now. NJIT has pulled that out over Albany 77-68. So NJIT is going to pull into a second place tie with the loser of this game. Top of the key three-pointer, way off the mark. Rebound Vermont. That wasn't even close by Tangent. Yalden inside. Yalden kicks it back out to Blake. Now Vermont keeping it around the perimeter. Back to Blake. He'll back up and reset the offense for Vermont. Blake drives, right hand, no, but he's fouled. Sean Blake heading to the line for two. Both teams are now in the penalty for the remainder of this game. First of two or for Blake is no good. Blake has pulled down 10 rebounds tonight. Second free throw is good. (51-42). Vermont's lead is 9 with 9 minutes remaining. The drive inside, no good. Catamounts pull down the rebound. UMBC has gone stone cold from the floor. The drive inside, running layup, no good. Rebound pulled down by the Retrievers. UMBC needs a basket desperately this trip. And instead, they turn it over. First turnover of the second half against UMBC, their 6th of the game. And Vermont with another chance to take a double-digit lead for the first time tonight. As Blake walks it up the floor for Vermont. Over to Mari, back over to Blake. Blake on the perimeter, now driving inside the paint, kicks it outside to Mari. Thought about the three, now will reset. And now back on the outside is Blake. Blake now back driving, kicks it outside for a three that's no good. Rebound pulled down by UMBC. UMBC hasn't scored for a couple minutes, and they're going to have a chance here as there was a foul. Ben Michaels with a bump, and it'll be 2 free throws with 8:12 remaining for UMBC. The Retrievers head to the line, trying to snap out of their little point drought here, as Caden Diggs will have 2 free throws. First of 2 up and good. One more on the way for Diggs and gets them both. Caden Diggs now with 12 points off the bench. He's UMBC's leading scorer tonight. 51-44. TJ Hurley, a very quick breather on the bench. He's right back in the lineup. Catamounts bring it up the floor as we near 8 minutes remaining. Blake bounce pass to Hurley. Hurley on the outside draws a bit of a double team. Catamounts working around the perimeter. And now the drive inside, knocked out of bounds. It will stay Vermont ball with 7 on the shot clock. We hit the under 8 timeout at 7:48 to go. Vermont 51-44 over UMBC. Vermont will have 7 on the shot clock when we resume out of the timeout. So all the other games in the America East Conference have gone final tonight. New Hampshire, a win tonight over UMass Lowell, 66-61. Binghamton picks up their first conference win of the season as they knock off Bryant tonight, 63-60. And NJIT, 77-68 over Albany. The loser of this game will be out of first place and fall into a second place tie with NJIT. And NJIT comes to Patrick Gym to take on Vermont on Saturday. %80 free throw shooting for UMBC. That's what's kept them in it because their field goal shooting has not been good. They are just 32%, 14 of 44 from the floor. Just 4 of 21 from three-point range at 19%. And Vermont not exactly shooting lights out. They're 43%. They are 36% from three-point range, but their bugaboo's been the free throw line. They are just 50% at the foul line tonight, 9 of 18. Vermont has a 4-rebound edge in the game. Vermont's turned it over 8 times tonight. UMBC's turned it over 6. And with 7:48 remaining, the Catamounts have a 51-44 lead over the Retrievers. Both teams still have plenty of timeouts. Vermont has 3 timeouts remaining. UMBC has 2. Catamounts will inbound following the timeout. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Catamounts. Blake to inbound. Gets it into Yalden. Shot clock down to 4. They're going to have to put up a three-pointer here. That's a brick off the back rim. Rebound to UMBC. A chance to get closer. Driving layup is good, and this is a 5-point game. 51-46. Caden Diggs now with 14 for the Retrievers. Blake brings it up the floor for the Catamounts. Over to Hurley. Yalden wide open for 3, but he missed it. UMBC dodged a bullet there as Yalden was wide open. UMBC a chance to make this back to a 1-possession game. Diggs with it. Diggs gets in the paint, kicks it outside. Downing. Now the pass goes inside. Layup is good, but the shot's not going to count. We have a foul before the shot. And it'll be a 1-and-1 for UMBC. Sean Blake with his 3rd foul. And Odunowu heads to the line for the Retrievers. This will be a 1-and-1. First is good. This to cut it to 3 with 6:57 to go. Odunowu. Second free throw. Got it. 6-0 run for UMBC. Pulls them back within 3 at the 6:50 mark and counting. Mari on the outside. Gives it off to Hurley. Hurley drives, gets underneath, but gets cut off and has to send it back outside to Ben Johnson. Now Mari on the outside. 10 to shoot for Vermont. Hurley. Hurley takes it. Hurley lost the ball. UMBC stepped in and Caden Diggs took it away. 9th Vermont turnover. Tangent thought about the three, but passed it up, and UMBC resets. They do work it around the perimeter. Tangent. Shot clock at 10. Tangent, step back three at the top of the key. Ties the game as he hits it. Tangent ties this game at 51. Tangent with a dozen. 9-0 run for UMBC after the Catamounts went up by 9. Vermont trying to answer. Now they've hit a little bit of a drought. Hurley off now to Ben Johnson. Johnson on the drive. Gets cut off. Shot clock down to 5 for Vermont. Here's Johnson hitting a three in front of the Vermont bench. Johnson in double figures with 11. 54-51 Catamounts. Valentine gets inside. He puts it up short. Rebound pulled down by Vermont. Here's Hurley. Off to Mari. Now Yalden. Back to Mari. Mari on the outside. Yalden. Mari in the corner for three. That's back-to-back threes for the Catamounts. Quick 6-0 run for Vermont after UMBC went on a 9-0 run. And that gets the crowd back in it. Timeout UMBC with 4:55 to play. UMBC's down to one timeout here. Vermont's now put 3 players in double figures, along with Hurley's 18. Ben Johnson and Lucas Mari have 11 apiece. Vermont's now hit 10 threes tonight. .455 left. 57-51 Vermont. UMBC inbounds out of the timeout. Valentine brings it up the floor for the Retrievers. Valentine with it now on the outside. Looking for some help. Valentine gets it over left side to Armstrong. Armstrong looking to drive. Kicks it back out instead. Tangent rimmed out on the three. Rebound Vermont. Catamounts slow it up as Mari brings it across the midcourt stripe. Here's Hurley. Hurley to Yalden. Yalden goes inside to Noah Barnett. Back outside. Three-pointer, no good. Tipped out, but UMBC comes out with it. Valentine with it for the Retrievers. 4 minutes remaining. Tangent. Now Armstrong. Armstrong, the turnaround in the paint. Wild shot. No good, but he is fouled. Armstrong went down to the floor pretty hard. And he will have free throws when we come back from the under 4 timeout. 3:49 left. Catamounts up 6, but UMBC will have 2 free throws when play resumes. Well, UMBC's done the job tonight against Vermont's leading scorer, Yalden. Yalden averages 16.6 a game. UMBC's held him to 6 points tonight on 2 of 13 shooting. It has not been a good shooting night at all for Vermont's leading scorer, Gus Yalden. But they've gotten help in other areas. TJ Hurley, Ben Johnson stepped it up for Vermont. Ben Johnson only averages 5.5 a game, so he's doubled his season points per game output. Again, a reminder, tomorrow night we'll be back on with you for another college basketball live stream on my YouTube and Kick channels. 21st ranked St. Louis Billikens will be hosting the Dayton Flyers. 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night for that live stream. Out of the A10, Billikens and the Flyers. The next live stream on my page, that's tomorrow night, again on my YouTube and Kick channels. We've got some unfinished business here to take care of to see who takes the solo lead in the America East. 57-51. Vermont ahead of UMBC with 3:49 remaining. Winner is in first place all by themselves. The loser will fall into a second place tie with NJIT. As America East Conference play hits the halfway point coming up this Saturday. UMBC has only one timeout remaining. Vermont still has 3. So UMBC will be shooting free throws here out of the timeout. All of a sudden, this computer just starts playing random ads out of the blue. First free throw up and no good for Armstrong. He'll have one more. He missed them both. 2 big misses at the line. It still stays 57-51. Hurley off to Yalden. On the outside is Mari. Mari finds Hurley. Hurley looking to drive. Instead, kicks it over to Blake. Back out to Hurley. 7 to shoot for Vermont. Hurley on the outside. Off to Yalden. Yalden goes inside to Blake. Turn around with the shot clock running down. Rimmed out. Rebound pulled down by the Retrievers. Caden Diggs, leading scorer tonight for UMBC, kicks it out for a deep three-pointer that rims in. That was way back there. 57-54, under 3 to go. Blake, here's another corner 3. That's no good. Vermont tries to save it, but they cannot. It's going to go to the Retrievers. Valentine will bring it up the floor for UMBC. Valentine, bounce pass across the court. Now Tanchin with it, back to Valentine. 2.5 to play. Valentine with it at the top of the key. Now will drive inside, got cut off and lost the basketball. Vermont comes out with it. And now Vermont will set the offense. Blake just dribbling. Now at the Vermont logo at midcourt. 10 to shoot. Blake spins. Blake drives inside. Kicks it out to Mari. Way off the mark on a 3. Rebound UMBC. Armstrong. Tanchin with it. Tanchin drives against Hurley. Tanchin gets in the paint. Tanchin, and that's going to be a reach-in foul on TJ Hurley. That's going to be 3 on him. That is team foul number 10, so 2 shots the rest of the way for UMBC. As Jose Roberto Tanchin heads to the line to try to make this a 1-point game. With 1:39 remaining on the clock. First of 2 is no good. That's 3 straight misses at the line for UMBC. Yalden returns after a very quick breather for Vermont. Tanchin's second free throw. That one's good. 57-55. The lead is 2 as we approach a minute and a half to play. Blake with the dribble. Blake off to, here to Ben Johnson. Johnson bounce pass inside to Yalden. Yalden backing his way in the paint. Yalden the turn, and he is fouled on a reach-in. And that will send Yalden to the line. Yalden held to 6 points tonight, averaging 16.5 a game. He is just 2 for 13 from the floor in this one. First free throw is good. This to make it a 4-point lead. Second free throw on the way is also good. 2 big free throws for Gus Yalden. Vermont by 4. Valentine inbounds to DJ Armstrong. Back to Valentine, who will cross the midcourt stripe. Valentine with it on the outside. Now Tanchin. Tanchin trying to back his way in. Kicks it back out to Valentine. Under a minute. And now here's the drive. Inside. Layup. No. Rebound. Catamounts. A nice drive inside, but the layup was a little too hard off the glass. And now Vermont will take a timeout. With 44.2 to go, up by 4. 22 on the shot clock. Vermont still with 2 timeouts remaining. UMBC has 1. UMBC has only 18 fouls, so a foul off the ball will be still 1-1 for Vermont. Vermont looking to hang on for another 44 seconds and go into outright first place. America East still one of the conferences across the country that still plays on home courts. So that number 1 seed, you get to play all at home throughout the America East tournament. Inbound it comes to Yalden. Looks like UMBC may play this straight up. Yalden against Tanchin. Tanchin has 4 fouls, so he's got to be careful. Yalden gets free. Shot clock down to 6. Outside a 3 in the corner is good. And that may be the dagger 3 as Mari puts it in to extend the Vermont lead to 7 with 25.6 to go. Lucas Murray with 14 and a big three here, which could be the game sealer for Vermont. As UMBC now down 7 and just 25 seconds remaining. And they've actually reset the clock to 26.1. So UMBC now needs points in a hurry. This game was tied at 29 at the half. Vermont's led pretty much all second half. They went up by 9. UMBC tied it, but Vermont may have just went on the run here. UMBC's taking a lot of time here. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebound, Vermont, and a foul with 10.3, and it looks like the Catamounts are going to take over sole possession of first place in the America East. Okunowu picks up his 4th foul. And it very well looks like these two teams might be on a collision course again, as possibly the top two teams in this America East Conference. Free throw up and good. And again, these two teams meet again 3 weeks from tonight. They could meet again a third time in the conference tournament. 2 free throws are good. 64-55 ties Vermont's largest lead of the night. Valentine will take a three-pointer. That is off the front of the rim. The rebound to Vermont. And that's going to do it. The Catamounts, with a big second half, win this game 64-55 over UMBC. And the Catamounts in sole possession of first place in the America East as they go to 14-8 on the season, 6-1 in conference play. That drops UMBC to 12-8 overall, 5-2 in conference play. UMBC falls now into a second place tie with NJIT. Good one here tonight between these two teams. Let's run down the final stats here before I sign off for the night. Vermont ends up shooting from the floor 20 of 49, 41%. They were 11 of 30 from three-point range at 37%. Just 13 of 22 at the free throw line for 59%, but they hit the clutch ones down the stretch. UMBC only shot 33% tonight, 17 of 52. They were 6 of 26 from 3 at 23%, 15 of 21 at the foul line for 71%. They missed 3 free throws in a row late in a clutch situation. Rebound edge for Vermont in this one, 37-33. Turnovers, Vermont turned it over 9 times. UMBC turned it over 7 times. Vermont was led by TJ Hurley's 18 points tonight, 16 out of Lucas Murray, including the dagger three-pointer with 25 seconds left. 11 points out of Ben Johnson. 8 points out of Gus Yalden, 5 out of Sean Blake, 4 points out of Ben Michaels, and 1 point out of Jackson Skipper. For UMBC, they were led tonight by Caden Diggs off the bench with 14 points. Jose Roberto Tanchin added 13. Those were the only 2 in double figures tonight for the Retrievers. 8 points apiece from Jalakai King and DJ Armstrong Jr. 5 points out of Ace Valentine, 4 points out of Josh Odunowu, and 3 points out of Riley Jacobs wraps up the scoring for UMBC. As Vermont takes it tonight, 64-55, and again moves to 14-8 on the season and alone in first place at 6-1 In America East play, UMBC now 12-8 overall and 5-2 in America East play. Vermont will host NJIT coming up this Saturday, while UMBC hits the road to take on Albany on Saturday. That's going to wrap it up on the live stream here tonight. A good one there in the America East. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John on YouTube. If you like my content, would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Also on Kick at Sports Kick John. You can follow me there. You can also follow me on Twitch at Sport Guru John. I have some content on there as well. Again, I'll be back with you tomorrow night for A10 action, number 21, St. Louis and Dayton. That game will tip off at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I will be on shortly before that to get you ready for that A10 matchup between Dayton and number 21, St. Louis, tomorrow night. Appreciate you joining me. It was a fun one tonight. Vermont wins at 64-55. Back tomorrow night for Dayton and St. Louis at A10 college basketball action. Appreciate you joining me, everybody. Have yourself